Mudryk has decided to pile more pressure on Shakhtar Donetsk to really pave way to his move to Arsenal. And obviously, we're having sources coming in from Sky Sports as far as Modric to Arsenal is concerned. Then a source coming in from Ukraine, known as Zita Sports Arena, talking about the Modric transfer to Arsenal. And there is another story, I think, about Bukayo Saka, why Mikel Arteta went ahead to give him a hug at the end of the game of West Ham United when Arsenal had terrorized them by 3-1. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? In this episode, we are also having David Austin, number one tier journalist as far as transfers are concerned. He has come out and also revealed some stories concerning Modric. You know, when a team is nearly going to sign a player, it's all about him. It's all about him. Let no one lie to you. It's all about him. And I believe in the next two to 3 days, until this deal is done, it's going to be about Modric to Arsenal. So let's start it off like this. This man is known as Steve K. He's one of those that really first came out and really let us know about the transfer of this guy known as Modric to Arsenal. Now, he has told us that the consensus is a deal can be completed between Arsenal and Shakhtar Donetsk for winger Modric. Negotiations between the two sides are ongoing and the Gunners are expected to submit an increased bid. Modric is putting pressure on Shakhtar to sell, as per Steve K. Now, leaving alone the last bit of it we're going to tackle, that is Modric piling pressure onto Shakhtar, there is this first bit. The consensus is a deal can be completed between Arsenal and Shakhtar for winger Modric. Now, I believe in everything that is being said by Steve K. Consensus to sell is there. Shakhtar Donetsk have already made it clear they are going to sell this player. But there is an amount of money they want that Arsenal has not yet put on their table. So that's what is holding this deal behind. That's the only thing that is holding this deal behind. But consensus states a deal is going to happen. That is the most important thing, because the moment you go to a club when they're not willing to sell, even if you push 100 times and you move a mountain, they won't sell. They won't sell. But right now, Shakhtar is willing to sell and Arsenal is putting their bids because they know the team wants to sell the player. Now, this part, Modric is putting pressure on Shakhtar to sell him to Arsenal. Modric doesn't want to experience the same situation he was in last summer. Last summer, Arsenal came in through and very many other Premier League clubs, but they couldn't raise the offer or the realistic evaluation of Shakhtar Donetsk of 50 million euros. That's what they called for to sign this player. They made a bid of 30. It was rejected, meaning that Shakhtar is a team that keeps its word. They stand on their word. I don't know how they are going to stand on the 100 million euros because I don't believe Arsenal is going to get them that amount of money. But I believe they are going to add them more. So, Modric is doing this because his dream is to play for Arsenal. You get? He has come out on several occasions and indicated his love for Arsenal. And most recently, he liked an Instagram post of Fabrizio Romano that indicated Arsenal had made a first bid for him to Shakhtar. He liked it and he is now putting pressure because Arsenal is playing their part. What is Arsenal's part? Arsenal's part is to put money on the table. And what is Mudryk's part? Mudryk's part is to keeping on pressurizing a team known as Shakhtar to really let the deal go happen, because he's going to be the record sale of a Ukrainian team. Obviously, close to 70 million euros, all 80 are going to exchange hands from Arsenal to Shakhtar for the signature of Modric. So it's going to be a record sale. Modric wants to join Arsenal. He sees himself ready for the Premier League. He wants to go on and bring his talent to showcase it down in the Premier League, because we all know how good and talented this guy is. No one has a question for the talent of Modric. Modric is really one of a kind. He really lives his life very well. He's known as the Ukraine Neymar, and he wants to come on and play with the likes of Zinchenko, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, and very many others, the Bukayo Sakas of this world. So that's why he's piling pressure onto the Shakhtar Donetsk side. And you would understand him. You get? Chances like this happen once in a lifetime. When I say it, people will say, Rokani, no, they don't happen once in a lifetime provided you are talented. No. Every year, every season, every transfer window, there happen to grow or show up a talent that we never expected. Let me take you to the World Cup. Before going to the World Cup, Caicedo was one of the most talked about midfielders that most teams wanted. After the World Cup, it's Amrabat, it's McAllister, it's Enzo Fernandez. You get? So, it shows you that it takes just a blink of an eye for things to change in the game of football. And Mudryk knows it, that if at all he missed out on a deal to any Premier League team last summer, he cannot risk himself not leaving Shakhtar this January transfer window, because there are very many other players that are going to arise. We are going into the Premier League, we are going into the Champions League, we are going into the UEFA Europa League. So a player might rise from nowhere. So he is not taking a chance. He is not risking this chance again, and that's why he's pressurizing a team called Shakhtar to go on and really sell him. That is Steve K. Thank you very much for watching it. Now, we go to Sky Sports. There is a man called Ben Grounds. He has told us the following about Modric, that Arsenal wouldn't have moved for Modric without having done due diligence on the player and how he fits into the style of Mikel Arteta. Arsenal board are reacting to the team's strong position and the early move for Modric shows they mean business. So, you see, when you get a right sporting director like Edu, he can really build the structure of the club very well. He was at Corinthians in Brazil. He did it there. That's where Arsenal got him from, and they brought him. Arsenal is now aligned in a proper way a footballing team is supposed to be aligned. And that's why don't expect to get anything in life when you've not yet laid a structure or a plan to achieve it. You get? So, to achieve success that is going to live on, you need to lay a structure that is really good. Now, Arsenal have two advantages. They are having Edu, who was a sporting director down in Brazil, and he knows how a footballing hierarchical structure should be built. And secondly, they brought on a manager, Mikel Arteta, who knows how Man City had attained its success. He knows the A to the Z of Man City. So they combined their brains and they came up with a structure or a plan to see to it that they build Arsenal to that level. And it's now that I know why Edu wanted to go on and get in Mikel Arteta from Man City, because Man City is one of the best teams run sportingly. That's it. Their demos or their models that you can even use as demonstrations to other teams. Now, Mikel Arteta mirrored what was at Man City and brought it at Arsenal. That's why Arsenal is doing what it is right now, because the two are really good and they've been groomed at teams that are really footballing teams. You get, their structures have been photocopied and brought in at Arsenal, and that's why Arsenal is really on top of the league with 5 points. They're not going ahead to buy a player of £100 million. They've not bought a player of £90 million, but they're on the top of the table. The only expensive player they've bought is Ben White, £50 million. And this time around, maybe Mudryk will go on and do the needful and cost close to £60 million or £70 million. That's it. But I believe they are really on the right course. And Ben Grounds is telling us that Arsenal are really showing they're in business to make an early move for Modric. But the reason why they're making an early move for Modric, because it's January transfer window. You have to do everything in December to have your player with you, because they know they're having a very hectic fixture in January and they need players in. So first and foremost, they've gone in for the hardest signing that they believe might take them some time. That is Mudryk. Then after Mudryk, they'll go to other players to see to it that they really let it go and shine. Now, let's go to Sports Arena from Ukraine. They're telling us that Arsenal and Shakhtar continue negotiations and most likely will be able to conclude an agreement. An important factor is the possible transfer of Modric, is the desire of the footballer himself to move to Arsenal. That has been said umpteen times. This man wants to leave Arsenal without further, wants to leave Shakhtar without further ado. David Austin, athletic reporter in there for you, all football correspondent for the Athletic. He has said Shakhtar want 100 million euros for him. My sense is, and from speaking to people across the industry, that they will come down in the price that they're asking for him and a compromise will be reached. Obviously, a compromise has to be reached because Arsenal has really put a lot in this deal and I don't see them walk away. I don't see them walk away from this deal. You get? Because this is January transfer window. Way back in 2021, when they're going in for Tielemans, they had offered £45 million and Leicester was wanting 65. So Arsenal said, no, let's try and get another player. You get? That's why they brought in the Sambi Lokongas of this world, because they thought maybe Tielemans is expensive and they had more months to go on and really sign in more midfielders. But this time around, they only have 30 days. That's why they've started this deal early and a compromise has to be reached between Modric, Arsenal and Shakhtar. Now, he has gone to tell us that Arsenal know they need to kick on in the transfer market if they want to make a final push for the Premier League title. Top 4 finish, the Cronkies are backing them to go and get that title. So let's see what they do in the market. So the important the important bit of this tweet is the Cronkies are backing them to go and get that title. So backing Arsenal to go on and get that title means a lot. It means they have to go on and really put in the money. And they are going to put in the money. That's why Arsenal has gone gung-ho on Modric, because they know everything is going to be done and dusted as soon as possible. Let's wait and see how that is going to go on. But Arsenal are really wanting to go on and win the title and finish fourth, because the moment you finish in the Champions League at the level at Arsenal is, it benefits them in like 2 or 3 ways. First and foremost, it means more money. Arsenal might add an income of close to 60 or 70 million pounds on the amount of money they've been earning because of being in the Champions League. I believe Arsenal will be in the Champions League. They'll go through the group stages. They'll lead the group, round of 16, quarterfinal. Maybe they can even win the Champions League because they're really looking at a decent side. And if at all you win the Champions League, you are really expected to earn close to 110 million pounds plus. So, secondly, an attraction to players. If Arsenal has been able to attract such quality of players when they are not in the Champions League, what if Arsenal goes to the Champions League? It's really going to be a different story to be told to us altogether. Not so? So I believe Arsenal are really on the right path, and obviously let's leave that at that and let's get into this Saka story being brought to us by a man from BBC known as Gareth Crooks. He's telling us that it was hardly a surprise to see Arteta hugging Saka after Arsenal beat West Ham on Monday. Given the lad's performance, Saka had already given West Ham an early warning about a sort of form he was in when he was a superb strike ruled out, because of offside. Eddie Nketiah, who did a back heel to him, was really offside. Then Gareth Crook continued that this is a player who seems to grow with every international tournament. He may have been slightly off the pace when it mattered for England at the World Cup, but the confidence he has acquired from being on the biggest stage is clear to see. I believe in what he's saying, that Saka has really improved his game of football and he's really trying to go on and really be the Saka or the unusual Saka. I thought the World Cup might have disrupted Arsenal's focus on the Premier League title, but I was wrong. What's more, they now have momentum and points to spare. This is getting serious. Everyone who downplayed Arsenal doesn't know history. You see, Arsenal has players that have even ever won a Premier League, a La Liga, and very many other tournaments. And people were downplaying them, they cannot win the league. Yet Leicester City, by the time they came in through and really clinched that title, they never had a player who had ever won a major trophy with them. You get? But they went ahead to clinch it. So I believe every person who doesn't believe that Arsenal is going to go ahead and really win the trophy is really, really, really naive about the game of football and what history has been teaching us onto this football world for a very, very long time. So your reactions to Mudryk piling pressure on Shakhtar to sell him to Arsenal are welcome in the comment section below. What do you think about Bukayo Saka's hugging with Mikel Arteta? Thank you very much for watching in through first video of the day. More are yet to come. We are going to cover up, guys. Don't be afraid. We are really matching up the pace, and we are going to give you the best that you guys deserve. Don't go away. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and smash the black button that has already subscribed and smashing it with the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto the Rokani Media Football. Rokani David is my name. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly. We sign out.